program we hope will have an impact on the future of Kenya. And now, more than ever, I'm Jeff Koinange. Now, all this week we've been telling you it's all about celebrating the women of Kenya. And when it comes to education, there's one young lady who's looking out for other young ladies into the future of Kenya. But most important, it looks like she's taking a leaf right out of her father's book. Listen to this. Way back in the 50s, you ever heard of the airlift? That's right. TJ Mboya. He started the whole airlift, taking young Kenyans to America so that they could transform the country once it was independent. Literally 40 years later, or less than 40 years later, his daughter took up the baton and literally running with it. Back in 2001, she's in America thinking, what do I do with myself? You know, how can I contribute to Kenya? She called up, she did some research, got 3 girls on a program, 3 smart, brilliant girls on a program. Go to America. Where do they live? What do they do? Well, they were living with her in her apartment, but going to school, getting an education. And from there, literally, it started snowballing. Today, 80 girls in the program in top colleges in America. This year alone, 8 are graduating, 7 going back to grad school, 1 coming back home, and next year even more. Does this sound unbelievable? This is the future. This young lady is changing it. Oh, by the way, she does have a real-time job. General manager, Coca-Cola, South Africa. Wow! Who is this? TJ's daughter. She is her father's daughter, Susan Mboya.
Hi, Jeff.
That took too long. But it's you. You did this.
I'm doing this.
You're doing this. It's incredible, Susan, that you have become your dad in a way. I mean, life is like that.
It is. It is. You know, I certainly had lots of inspiration growing up. And, you know, it's something that I was brought up to believe, was that, you know, we grew up relatively privileged and that you have to use that to give back.
A lot of women you grew up with don't think that way, Susan. They think, you know, yes, we were privileged, we went to great schools in Kenya and went to great schools in America or Europe or wherever, and they continue on with that level of life. Very few give back. What is it about you?
You know, I think we all do it in our own way. Everybody gives back in their own way. I just happen to be in a position where I'm able to, I have a lot of reach, I have a lot of networks, a lot of contacts that enable me to do this. Not everybody's in that position. I think everybody sort of looks for their own way to make their mark, and for me this was the way.
Yeah, for those who don't know the story, take us back to 2001. When you were, I guess, you were at that time in your life when you wanted to just give back, was that it?
You know, as I mentioned, I was in America during the 9/11. And we were sent home. And, you know, I was sitting at home and I had some time on my hands and was, you know, watching all this happening on TV, and it just made me think, what is my legacy going to be? I mean, if I was one of these people who died today, what would I have done? And really made me think that I wanted to do something more. And that was the genesis of it, if you will. And, you know, basically just started writing letters. I didn't have a plan at the time, but writing letters to schools and just saying, you know, if you will give us, would you give tuition to girls from Africa? And if you will, I'll take care of everything else. And that was how it started.
That is gutsy, because, you know, knowing universities in America, they would look, you know, they would look at this piece of paper and say, who is this?
Yeah, yeah. You know, you'd be surprised. Many American universities are looking for people like the students that I'm bringing them. They're looking for bright, smart, young women, and they do have a problem, particularly recruiting young women from Africa. They're looking, the problem is a lot of the students here don't know how to apply. The application process for the US is so complicated. And so the fact that I was going to actually walk these girls through, help them through the application, pay for the application process for them, was a plus for the schools. So I think it was a win-win. We were gaining something, but the schools are also gaining something.
That was very risky too on your part, Susan, because A, you didn't know who these girls were. Yeah. B, they're living in your apartment. Strangers.
In my basement.
In your basement. And, you know, I don't know. It was gutsy.
You know, foolhardy maybe more, more than gutsy. But, you know, sometimes you trust your gut. and my gut, you know, these were amazing students. The three who I started with, because we were starting so small, we really worked through a lot of students to get to the final three, and every single one of those, I tell people, could be the next president. They are that amazing.
Yeah.
They are that strong.
Yeah. Up to now, you know, I haven't even mentioned the name of the organization. I'm sure people are saying, tell us the name, tell us the name. And I apologize for not saying it at the beginning. Zawadi Africa Educational Fund, right?
Zawadi
And we're gonna,
Africa Educational Fund.
and that's the website as well. We're going to put it up.
Correct.
What is the exact website?
It's www.zawadiafrica.org.
Excellent. And who do you select? Who are you looking for, Susan? Because people are going to ask, are you looking for the best of the best? You're looking for athletic girls? Are you looking for top A students? What is it?
You know, we're looking for all of the above, and the selection criteria is extremely tight. We're looking for girls who have top academics, so in the top 1 to 2%. So most of the girls we take have A's in their KCSEs. We're looking though for girls who are very well-rounded, who have strong leadership skills, and we're looking for girls who have, you know, proof of extracurricular activities, where what are the kinds of things they've done in school. Were they the head girls, you know, head of a sports team? You know, we're looking for girls who are social, who are outgoing, who are leaders, who are natural leaders. But then we're also looking at girls who might not otherwise have an opportunity to go to school. You know, not that we have anything against people who can afford to go to school, but we really want to use this program where it can do the most good. And we also recognize that many of the girls that we work with know very deeply and understand very deeply the problems that our country faces in a way that other people who have lived a more privileged life might not understand. And because of that, our hope is that when they come back, that's where they'll focus.
Yeah.
They'll focus on the true problems of this country.
We met one young lady right here on the bench, 19 years old last year, called Mariah Githua.
Yeah.
Unbelievable then.
Unbelievable.
And she was heading to North Carolina under this Zawadi program.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
She's doing extremely well. Mariah, I think she told you, this was a dream come true for her. And her first semester, she had another dream come true for her, because Professor Wangari Maathai, who is her role model, her ultimate role model, came to speak at her school. And Mariah got to spend the whole day with her. And she has never forgotten that experience. And I think it'll be with her for the rest of her life. It's going to shape her.
Yeah.
So these girls, it's not just the education that they get. And they will tell you that the scholarships is one piece, but it's a very small piece. What is truly groundbreaking about this program is the opportunities that these girls have for their own personal development, for leadership development, for the kind of exposure that they get. So Mariah meeting, for example, Professor Wangari Maathai. We have a leadership conference every year. We bring all the girls together and we expose them to leaders from around the world. One year, our first year, we had the CEO of Procter & Gamble globally at the conference. And they got to spend the whole day with him, asking him questions. Last year we brought in Dr. PLO Lumumba, who, as you know, has a great influence with the youth here. They spent the whole day with him. And so they're really learning from the best of the best from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah. And what does that do? Because obviously you've seen it from day one. What does that do to a young lady? The influence, the exposure, and then the knowledge they bring back. What does that do?
It changes them completely. What it does is it takes the potential that they have and it brings out that full potential. It takes them from a shy, maybe very bright, but shy, maybe not so articulate young woman to a confident, highly articulate, highly knowledgeable, sophisticated young woman who can hold her own with the best of the best. Our